Zah, Boxing Nation, where boxing lives, breathes, and breaks down. We just witnessed one of the greatest nights in women's boxing history and one of the most chaotic weeks outside of the ring. From Katie Taylor cementing her legacy to Gervonta Tank Davis facing legal trouble, this is the boxing world in overdrive. We're breaking down the Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano trilogy, Baumgardner and Green's big wins, and a bunch of wild updates from Gervonta Tank Davis and Devin the Dream Haney. Plus some huge upcoming fights, including David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde, Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda, and Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. Let's break this all down. Katie Taylor has done it again. Tonight at a packed Madison Square Garden, Taylor outpointed Amanda Serrano in a very close fight. This is making her 3-0 in this trilogy. I believe that Amanda Serrano did a lot better than what the judge gave her credit for, even though one judge seen it a draw and another judge gave it to Katie Taylor. I believe it was still a very close fight, which, was tremendously fought fight from both of these women. I believe that's when it turned into a real dog fight. It was real toe-to-toe exchanges from both women. Katie Taylor, using her good in and out movement, while Amanda Serrano was stalking with the 1 and 2. And it was just a great night for women's boxing. Great job, Katie Taylor. But it wasn't just a night for Katie Taylor. Alycia Baumgardner successfully defended her undisputed 130-pound title with a dominant win over Jennifer Miranda. Her jab was extremely stiff and her footwork was crisp, and Shadasia Green pulled off what some consider to be an upset, defeating Savannah Marshall with body work, pressure, and right hands all night long. Marshall looked flat after the 4th round, and Green continued to capitalize. This was an all-female Netflix card, and I believe that this is going to live on in history. Netflix is doing something great with this. David Benavidez is standing at 175 pounds, and his next opponent is no joke. We know that his last fight was against David Morrell, but now he's going to be fighting Anthony Yarde. This will be David Benavidez's second fight at light heavyweight, following his dominant win over, like I said, David Morrell earlier this year. That win silenced a lot of doubters when David Benavidez went up in weight and his power translated. Anthony Yarde, on the other hand, is battle-tested. He gave tough fights to guys like Arthur Beterbiev. So I know that he's going to be a real threat. If he wins, if David Benavidez wins, he's going to be knocking on the door of a title shot against Dimitri Bivol or Beterbiev. I expect action. Both guys hit hard, and they both come forward, and neither one of them are going to back down. This is one of the most highly anticipated fights of this year. And then drama is already popping off with Devin the Dream Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. During the backstage moment and a media shoot, Devin the Dream Haney and Brian Norman got in a physical altercation, pushing, slapping, and ripping Brian Norman's shirt. This fight had a lot of tension already, but Brian Norman Jr. has been saying Haney is protected, overhyped, and he's boring. Haney's calling Norman a rookie with no resume, and he believes that he's levels above him. But now this fight is official. This adds fuel to the fire, and I believe that both of these guys really want to win this fight. We know that Devin the Dream Haney is a slick defensive boxer, and Brian Norman Jr. has more of the power on his side. So this is going to be a classic brawler versus boxer type of fight. Gervonta Tank Davis is in trouble again on fight. I'm going to do that segment again, okay? So Gervonta Tank Davis is in trouble again. On Father's Day, Tank was arrested for allegedly assaulting the mother of his child, marking yet another domestic violence incident that he had gotten into this year. And the bigger question now, what happened to his planned rematch with Lamont Roach Jr.? The man who held Tank's who gave Tank his only draw. This fight was Tank's shot at redemption, but for Roach, it was career defining. For fans, it was the most highly anticipated fight of this year. Now that fight is in jeopardy. The second fight is in jeopardy because of Tank getting locked up. We have Abdullah Mason, who will be facing Sam Noakes in a lightweight fight. Both are undefeated, both are aggressive, and both are chasing bigger names in the division. Abdullah Mason is extremely sharp. He's masterful. He puts on a surgical performance every time he comes out. He's been knocking out everyone that he's been in the ring with. So I believe that Sam Noakes brings a different skill set to the table that could bring more out of Abdullah Mason. The winner gets launched into contender status, and the loser will be back rebuilding their name. This is a guaranteed fight that both guys is going to put on a real show, so it's just one that you don't want to miss. Shakur Stevenson defends his WBC lightweight title against William Zepeda. Shakur Stevenson is extremely slick, probably the most defensively sound fighter in boxing today. William Zepeda, who's all pressure, all output, throws over 100 punches around, and is always coming forward. This is one of those classic boxing matchups where we have a technician versus a volume fighter. It's going to be defense versus offense, patience versus chaos. If William Zepeda can trap Shakur, this gets interesting. But if Shakur Stevenson controls the range, it could be a real boxing clinic from him all night long. Either way, this is a fight that fans should be excited for. The lightweight division is stacked right now, and this fight could shift the balance. Now, for my famous On This Day in Boxing History segment, lightweight legend Ike Williams KO'd Bill Jack in 6 rounds to retain his world title. Williams was precise, powerful, and ruthless in his approach. This win solidified his dominance in one of the most competitive divisions in that era. And think about how far we've come. From Ike Williams to Shakur Stevenson, the lightweight division continues to be the heartbeat of boxing. My final predictions. Of course, Katie Taylor dominated against Amanda Serrano. I wouldn't say she dominated. It was a real war against Amanda Serrano. Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. I still have Shakur Stevenson by unanimous decision, but it won't be easy. David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. I have Benavidez by late stoppage, but Yarde will land some heavy shots. Then we have Devin the Dream Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. Haney's experience could overcome Brian Norman's power if he can take it away from him. But we know that Brian Norman Jr. is no walk in the park for nobody at 147. We have Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. And right now, I don't think that fight is going to happen. With the legal issues, it really does change everything. We have Sam Noakes. We have Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. I believe that this is a real 50-50 fight. Both of these guys are very hungry, very young, and it can go either way in my opinion. I want you to let me know how you feel about this fight, all of these fights in the comments below. This is ZA Boxing Nation, where champions get analyzed and legends are made. And if you're new here, keep your hands up, and I'll catch you in the next one.